Good morning, everybody. It's 6:04 a.m., Thursday, August 7th. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I'm your host for the Dawn Patrol. That goes to approximately 7 o'clock, and then from 7 to 8, we have City Life. This morning, as you can see, it's me. Bob Hoey seems to be doing well. John's going to join me shortly. We can talk about his condition. They've taken a lot of the life support stuff off, all the different machines and things, and he seems to be improving. We hope that at some point in the future he will be able to join us again and tell us about all his experiences. Sam Chase is not here this morning. He had a test that he needed to have taken, and so he's not available this morning. We'll see what happens next week. I know that John Moses is scheduled for August, and right before school starts, we do have Jay Lang, Superintendent of Schools, coming in, so I will also make this announcement between 7 and 8 so that anybody that's listening, if they want to send some, we do have a guest coming in. I didn't know that because.
I told you.
When?
Sandra Meneses.
When did you tell me?
Well, she's been booked for a while.
Well, I didn't have it on my schedule.
Well, she's coming at 7.
Well, that's great. We have somebody else to talk to. And so we'll find out what
She's going to talk about all kinds of different forms you need to have, so.
Well, there's a lot of stuff you can ask a lawyer. We'll see whether or not they answer it.
Now, let me just take this program note here. See this?
Yeah, I see that. Is that a crosswalk?
It's a new crosswalk for the STEM Academy across the street.
Kind of cool looking.
They painted this yesterday. Looked fabulous. So, that's it. Rogers School, Highwood Street, STEM Academy entrance, and
Do we know who designed it?
we know nothing about it. The painters yesterday, we were giving them water, and they were using the bathroom at the funeral home because I guess they couldn't go into school. So that's all right, no worries. Everything, the cop was there. It was a good, happy guys, but I didn't ask him any question. So that's our new crosswalk.
Yeah, that's a good-sized crosswalk. But somebody had to have designed it. Maybe it's online. Maybe we can ask our phones. Anyway, so coming in, it was a wonderful 62 degrees, a little on the chilly side depending upon how you like your weather. There's a lot of haze that's out there. There's a lot of interesting things. I thought that I had sent you a picture.
Well, I'm not going to look for stuff. I got to get us up on Facebook.
Oh, no, I understand.
And then I'll start fiddling around with the other stuff.
Of a map of all of the fires. There's like 700 fires burning in North America. And some of the ones that are in Canada have been burning for years because they're in locations they can't reach. Either that or they just don't care. But that haze, because of the way that the jet stream works, is coming down over us, and you could definitely see it. So it's going to change, obviously. Everything does change in due time. But just be careful working outside or jogging. I know that there's a road race up in Manchester tonight. I think it's Cigna. And I know that Glenn's going to run it. My middle son's going to run it. And so we'll see how that all goes with everybody. But road races and any outside activity, it's definitely difficult. I know that I was working over the last weekend and earlier in the week, and it is definitely difficult to be able to breathe. So that's interesting. Well, I'm also watching to see like hurricanes because my sister lives in Florida, and I have friends that are in Florida, different
I would
locations.
have loved to have been on the cruise that had to turn around from New York. That was pretty good. Cruise out of New York, I guess they had to turn around and bring the boat back.
Why?
The hurricane knocked the daylights out of the boat, so they went back to New York.
Okay.
That's what I understand. I don't know the facts, I just heard that on the internet.
Well, I also know that United is grounded because they have some glitches in their technology.
All better.
It's all better now?
United's all better, yeah.
Okay, because when I looked
Something
at
was
that at 5
broken with their
o'clock.
computers, and you know what I would hate? Can you imagine being stuck on the plane for 4 hours? I mean, you landed at your destination, and they say like, no, you can't get off the You can't get off the...
I've never experienced that, but I know that my husband has.
Claustrophobic I would become instantly.
Well, as long as they can run
I tell my wife, tell them I'm having a heart attack. I gotta get off this plane.
I'm having hot chest pains. So anyway, if you just wait a while, the weather will get better. There are scattered storms, but it doesn't appear as though there's any rain in our forecast for another week. And it was interesting when I walked out to my van this morning because there was like no dew on the grass either. So it's very, very dry, no backyard fires or fire pits or anything. And I would assume that should be for a lot of Massachusetts, if not New England. So we can certainly take a look at all of that stuff. There's a lot of different articles I sent you, John. I don't think that you probably read them, but they are topics that we all have opinions on that we can talk about this first hour, and then we'll kind of wing it with our attorney coming in at 7 o'clock, which I was very happy to see. When I looked on the screen, went, oh, good, I don't have to wing it for 2 hours. I always have something to say, so that's good.
Sandra wants to talk about forms you should have your child execute before going to college, such as power of attorney and healthcare proxy. Good idea.
Before going to college?
Yeah, because they're away.
Oh, that's if they're away. If they live at home, you don't need to do that? Well, anyway,
Well,
we'll
we
ask
can
the
find
question.
out. We'll find out at
Yes,
7.
Yes, so if anybody is listening and you're going to tune in for the second hour, be thinking of different questions you'd like to ask a lawyer that we would have on. I don't know what her specialty is or if she's got her own private practice. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, she's got her own practice.
I thought it was interesting with some of the reductions and/or cuts in the budget, not the Massachusetts budget, but the federal budget, that they're saying that NPR and different ones are going to have to close because they don't have enough funding. When they first started these programs, they always had fundraisers. I
They
remember
still do.
I remember when we lived in Ithaca in the late 70s, early 80s of the last century. There were very few TV stations at that point, and I had a 2-year-old, so we did watch Sesame Street. It didn't have too many political leanings at that time. They do now, but anyway, we would watch that, and at some point there'd always be some kind of fundraiser. They might have special concert series, there might be a special movie series or something that came out of England in terms of their drama or comedy act. I remember watching The Duchess of Duke Street. That was a long series. Things were very, very interesting and much better than they currently are with regard to some of these programs. So anyway, I thought that was interesting, and the fact that the Democratic Party seems to have very little money as a result, and you don't know. I mean, you have people making accusations, and I don't know what the foundation would be in terms of actual data that would support some of the accusations, but one of them is the fact that with USAID going away, that particular line item in the budget, then that would be very interesting to note how much was funneled into the National Democratic Committee. So anyway, I'm listening to John talk on the telephone.
I spoke, you're not a host.
I'm not the host? Oh, hose. Who called?
One of our viewers. And she's very good at that. Very kind, gentle gal, and she always, if there's something wrong, she'll find it for me, so that's, God bless her. Let me get over and fix that right now.
So anyway, we have an edit to what is on below your screen. And then we'll see how many views we actually have this morning. I did look, last week we had Vivian Merrill on, Sam was with us last week, and I looked, I think it was Monday, it looked, John, like we had 1,800 views. I'm wondering whether or not people actually looked because she had pulled a raffle and they wanted to know whether or not they were part of it. But that still adds up to an awful lot of views.
There you are, all better host. Thanks for letting me know.
I'm still trying to wake up. I get up, really early on Thursday mornings. I mean, I've been getting up early.
Did you drive down from Cal Hampshire this morning?
No, because I would have had to left at 4 a.m., which meant I had to get up at 3, and why bother to go to bed? No, I drove down late.
If we're at the beach, I get up at 4.
Yes, but I'm-
Yesterday's accident on 495, I said, there's no way I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, my son got stuck in that. I don't know if he had Waze on to go around it, but he did get stuck in that. He was leaving early to get to work early and ended up getting to work later than he would if he had left later. But that's beside the point. Driving 495 and 95, every morning we get some commentary as far as what the traffic's like and how stupid people drive and how people drive stupidly. So there's different ways you can have a play on words with regard to that. And even when I drive, I don't drive that early in the morning. Sometimes I am driving when people are coming home because they come home at staggered times in the afternoon. They don't use blinkers. Just as long as they can get one car ahead of you, they're perfectly
We
happy.
don't need our blinkers.
Well, they don't use them in New Hampshire either. I mean, when I go 495, 95, 16, if there's no heavy-duty traffic.
Yeah.
The other way that I can go is I can go up 3 and then pick up 293, and that brings me over to 93 North, 101 East. If I continue on 101, as you well know, that'll take me to 95, but I don't go that far, which would be where you would be, at
I don't know
Hampton
where to go.
Beach.
I just know 495.
Well, I have all kinds of other alternative routes. I like to know where I'm going.
Boy, that's a lousy shot.
Well, that's up to you. You're the one
You're
with the
home.
shots
You
in.
should slide a little to left.
All right, we're readjusting.
Good, perfect.
Okey dokey. So
Yeah,
here
you
we-
are a beanpole. You're taller than me. You're like 2 inches taller than me.
Even when I stand up, I'm taller than you.
I don't notice as much.
And I don't wear heels.
Well, you can't have heels right now.
Well, no, but it's your chair. Some of your
You're in
chairs
the
sit
same
low.
chair.
No, some of your chairs sit lower.
Okay.
I don't like the lower chairs.
I got text here.
Okay.
This one says, well, there's actually 3 texts from the same guy, but that's okay. Good morning. The best part of yesterday's show was when Mr. Mcdonough said, Mr. Hoey called me. Glad you're doing better, Bob. Look forward to your visit on the show. The next post. The painting looks great. The streets definitely looks like the craters on the moon. How fitting they picked that design. What's the STEM Academy? You're right.
Yeah, that's the crosswalk we
From
showed
Jay.
earlier in the.
And the last one,
program.
you can always tell when you are driving and texting.
That's what my son thinks, and the younger one drives an awful lot too. And whether they're I don't text and drive, just in case anybody's
Well,
listening.
wait a second. You got fancy car. You
Yeah,
can't
because
text
if
and
I-
drive?
I don't pick up my phone and read
Yeah, but you have
and text.
the new car.
But the new vehicle, what it will do is the text comes across on the screen. If I want to read it, I still have to hit a button, and it will read me what's on my text.
Out
Then it will-
loud?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it will ask me if I want to respond. And if I want to respond, it will record what it is I say, and I can have a conversation.
Is it CarPlay?
Pardon me?
The app, is it called CarPlay?
I have no idea. All I know is it works.
Okay.
Comes across Bluetooth. So that's kind of interesting. I'm still learning an awful lot of stuff about all the apps
So
and what to
Bluetooth.
say.
So you're not physically plugged in, it's just Bluetooth off your phone?
Yes.
Good.
Yep. And it has, so I like to just plug my telephone in to charge it, but there is a little thing where you can just lay your phone on the side, on the console, in the middle.
Yep.
And it will charge the phone. But I like to see my phone. So that if there's, a call coming in or there's something like that, I'm not used to having the display. So until I get used to it and work off of the display and the vehicle stuff, that's what I have my phone there for. What I also have, I have Waze on one of the apps that's on the phone. I have Sirius Radio. So, and on the steering column.
Now, did you always have Sirius? Or you just got it now because it's free?
Oh, no, I've had Sirius for a lot of years.
Okay.
On the other vehicle, Glenn transferred it. So, on the steering wheel, on the column, I can press a button and speak to whatever it is of the AI. And I can give it commands. But I'm trying to figure out how to do commands because there were certain things I asked it to do, to turn to a radio station, and how I ask the question, either it does or it doesn't.
Oh, I just hit the speaker and say, tune 980 WCAP. And,
Right, but when I was trying to get on Sirius Radio,
oh, I got you.
okay, it's different. I understand how you can do that. That's very direct with the AM and FM stations. But when you get on the Sirius, the AI recognizes you need to have a subscription. So sometimes it comes across, you need to have a subscription, and when you have your subscription, and then you can actually ask it to do this. If I ask it differently, it comes across and it will do that. So it's how you word your question. Yesterday, several times I wanted to see the Waze map
Yep.
on the display because it wasn't on my telephone. But all of the words, all of the directions were on the telephone printed out as we went, and then my phone talked to the Bluetooth to tell me where to go. But I can program Waze in the car itself, which is kind of interesting to do. So I'm still learning all about that. Plus, there's a little wheel and there's a little thing that's on the steering column in order to go through the different apps when you hit the apps on the display. But there's a lot of apps.
Have you watched on YouTube how to do that?
I didn't have to. The guy showed me how to do it.
Okay, genius. See, I watch YouTubes.
Well, if I don't know something, that's what I will do. And then I'm really happy.
I'm glad you're a genius and you perceived
No.
and you processed and you remembered everything on the demonstration.
Well, yeah,
Good for you.
because there's a trip meter on an app. So, but also on the column, you can use the wheel to go back and forth to what you want to see on the display in front of you, besides the display that is off to the right. So the little wheel that's there, okay, if I have my trip meter to read.
Yep.
I can also do it on the column with
So
a
you
little
got a
scroll.
Honda, right?
Yes, Odyssey. So I can do that, and I can scroll up and down, so every time I get gas, I can clear out trip A, trip B, if I want to. And then I keep track of everything in a
Okay.
book. So,
So you track your mileage.
yes, well, actually Glenn does. And the reason we track mileage and where everything is because of changing the oil. Do we have another text?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Back in the day, we all drove around looking at the Rand McNally maps, looking for an address, phone number. The phone definitely makes it easier. Absolutely right. I remember my wife Ellen was the map reader, the co-pilot.
the navigator.
Yep. And I can remember driving to Florida. We had brand spanking new cars. So I said, you know what? We'll take the brand spanking new car to Florida. And that was before we realized that driving to Florida, it's grounds for divorce in every state. So we're driving,
Driving anywhere.
and one of my friends came with me. He came down for the ride, and so they decided he was going to take the map and she was going to drive, and I was going to have a nap in the back seat. Well, I woke up with the sun being in my eyes. I instantly knew
You going in the wrong direction?
going in the wrong direction, because when I went to sleep, the sun was at the back of my head, not in my face. So I says, how lost are we? My wife says, how do you know we're lost? So they pulled over in the rest area, and I didn't let them drive anymore. The whole 2-hour nap I had, they went the wrong way 2 hours.
So I used to be navigator, so I know how to read a map. I am not map challenged.
Ellen's a great map reader, but my friend
Was
is
not.
not a good map reader.
It's easier, what was always interesting to me was, it's easier for me to drive on the East Coast, because that's where I grew up. So I always know that the sun's got to be off there to the left someplace if I'm going south, or to the right if I'm going north. And as you say, to the back or the front, depending upon if you're going east or west. You sort of reverse the north and south when you're on the West Coast driving, which I found the first time that I was out there. I went, now this is interesting. I have to kind of reverse my thought process because I'm on a different coast. And obviously the ocean is now always going to be in the west instead of the east. So, and that's the same thing in Florida. My sister is on the Gulf Coast. And so it's a different thought process in driving if you're not used to, reading maps or not. So after you
I just
had-
do what Waze tells me to do, wherever it might be.
Yeah, but I'm talking about before Waze, and I'm
Oh.
even talking about before the computer thing happened in my head. This is what I had to do, and I was able, even as a little kid, we used to go out to northern Indiana for family reunions in the last week in August every year, and I would watch to see. Once I got old enough, anyway, I would watch and I would see landmarks and things, so I would know how close we were. I never asked, are we there yet? So I always would remember that. And there are some things that are still in memory of going and visiting places that have nothing to do with electronic devices. So after we had, in terms of history, after we had maps, and everybody should at least try reading a map once in their life in case you
No,
lose
don't
it.
bother. Don't bother.
Oh, yeah. And so after we had maps, then we had the computer, and you would have MapQuest, or Google Maps came after that.
How about AAA, the triptych?
Well, when I took a trip with my middle son's mother-in-law, because we were friends.
This is back in 1856?
No, this was in,
The 1900s?
2000-something.
Wow, this century.
Yes. So we took a 2,400-mile trip, and she had AAA map it out for us.
We used to call it a triptych.
I have no idea, because I didn't do it.
It was
She
like a
did.
nice book you could go.
And then what they,
So
what
nice
it
to
also
put
did was,
together.
like, it booked the first night, it knew what we were gonna do, so AAA did do a lot of work in terms of
Where did you
that.
stay, hotel-wise?
I don't remember, it was a long time ago.
Well, we used to have a chain of hotels we used to stay at. We had a book from them, so we knew how far we were going to go that day, so we'd book a hotel down the road. So when we got there, we had a room. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you took more trips than I did, overall, regardless of what kind of method you were using to get there. But when I would go south with my sister, we used La Quinta's. La Quinta has,
That's hotels?
yes.
Okay.
It's a whole chain. They are pet-friendly, because she had pets, and they also have a very nice, you can eat breakfast, and if you're there more than once, you can, kind of take the boiled eggs if you want to have those for lunch. There's different things that you can take, fruit, different things that you can take as far as eating goes, and that's part of the whole thing. So I liked those. They were very clean, even though there was pets and stuff, and I'm not allergic to anything, so that was great.
So would you drive in 2025? I got two texts after you answered my question. Would you drive in 2025 to Florida? 2026 to Florida?
Yes,
Okay,
but I wouldn't do it all by myself,
okay.
because it's a long trip.
Okay, two texts. The best part of Waze app is letting you know where the police are setting up shop. That's from Bart.
It also tells you accidents. It also tells you construction. It also tells you if somebody's sitting on the side of the road.
I got one more text. Also, how many times did you drive away from someone after getting directions and thinking, did they just lie to you?
No, I never thought that. because it had to make sense.
Well-
The problem is that you've got to remember. You go down the road a piece, and you take a left, and then you go east, and you take a right after about so many miles at such and such a tree, and then you should be going through 3 stop signs. I mean, when you get directions like that, it's like, okay, can I write this down? Because I can't remember what I'm doing.
We're on a road trip to New York, and I pull into a rest area. I say, anybody got to go to the bathroom? Nope. I get out, use the bathroom, get back, jump in the car, put it in drive. My wife screams, Judy! I says, what are you talking about? Judy's in the bathroom. After I had asked everybody in the car. And so lucky my wife was alert. Because, I mean, Judy's in the back seat. She doesn't do a lot of talking. She just put the car in drive and you drive away. So luckily Ellen knew that Judy was not in the vehicle.
I haven't really driven that many places in recent history with anybody but my husband, except we took the trip, my girlfriend and I took that trip, which was wonderful. I'd love to do it again, but Canada isn't, as far as I'm aware.
Do you have a bucket list of where you want to go?
No.
Being an OBB, meaning an old bag of bones?
Well, I never really, if we wanted to take a look, we'll put the bucket list in quotes, of course. I never had any desire to go across either the Atlantic or the Pacific Ocean. It was kind of like, if I went somewhere, I was happy, that I was at least going somewhere. So it started and this goes back as far as I can remember,
Yeah.
that I never wished that I had gone someplace different with my parents. I just never, because I was working all the time, so I didn't have the opportunities. But when Glenn had his different jobs, there would be a Microwave Theory and Technique Society conference. And that was different places. And then he got on a board of directors of a organization called Electro. They don't exist anymore. And so they would run a huge vendor event once a year.
Yeah, okay.
And so the board of directors would meet, and they would have all these different meetings and discussions and subcommittees and all that stuff in order to plan the next conference and location. So I would go along. So I think 2 of those trips were to Bermuda, which was great.
How'd you like Bermuda?
Bermuda was fine, but this is I'm trying to think of when this was, early 90s. When my youngest son got married, I said, go to Bermuda, it's absolutely gorgeous. Well, he told me that, yes, it's very pretty, but it wasn't what you described, Ma. The homeless were camped out in the parks that weren't like that when we were there. The prices were exorbitant, which I never noticed because I didn't see the bills. He would have on his honeymoon, so they had a nice time, but I went to Bermuda, I liked it. Small island. I did go up in the lighthouse, and I looked out, but I don't remember going out. I don't like heights. I feel like I want to throw up, so I did that. I know my mother went one time, and when she went up in the lighthouse, she didn't like heights either. And then she didn't like the fact that she was surrounded by water. It's an island. You're going to be surrounded by water. But everybody has their little phobias, and you got to get over them when you
So
travel.
how long did you stay there for? You went there a couple of times?
Yeah, a week.
It's like a whole week you were there.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it very much.
Because we've been there a couple of times. There's a cruise in Boston that goes there every week. The cruise goes to Bermuda. You get on the boat in Boston, day and a half later you're in Bermuda. You're there for like, I think, 3 or 4 days, and then a day and a half you're back in Boston on the boat. And Bermuda's a beautiful place, a lot of fun. Nice, beautiful pink sand, beautiful beaches.
Got to watch the undertow if you're in the water.
I'm a wader, I don't swim.
I'm just telling you, you just have to be careful.
Sometimes I'll do that snorkeling thing there, that, you put the snorkel on, but
I
did
just
that a
like the
couple of
fact that I was someplace different and
Not my
I didn't have
cup
to
of
do
tea.
housework.
I'd
But I
rather be
mean,
at
I
the
went
hotel.
there, and then he had conferences in other places in the country. And when we went to San Diego, then there was, and when they're in the conferences, there was always a spouse or significant other or whatever program for guests. And there were different things that you would pay for.
Comment from the audience, Bermuda is a great island to visit. No panhandling like all the other Caribbean islands. Good idea.
I don't know, all I know is I went there and I enjoyed myself, and that was a long time ago. Went to Tijuana, because that was one of the day trips.
Did you try a drink over there?
No, because I didn't, at the time, I wasn't drinking much of anything. I drank water.
Boy, oh boy, you're not a party
Tea.
girl.
No. Sorry.
Okay.
So then, at least not hard alcohol. It's really tough.
See,
to
I
do
would
that.
go to the Undertaker's convention, and those guys, and mostly guys and gals, would get themselves in so much trouble. It was amazing.
Well, these are engineers. They went to Las Vegas as an off-site. I don't think Las Vegas ever wanted them to come back. I think they lost money.
My favorite story of Las Vegas is the Undertaker down south, like the middle of the country, like Tennessee kind of Undertaker. And so he's having his, he's enjoying the company of a woman, and she talks him into getting handcuffed to the bed. And as soon as he got handcuffed,
She
she
left.
stole all his clothes, his wallet, everything. And of course, he couldn't get to a phone. He's handcuffed to the bed
Until
So he had
room
to-
service comes in.
until the girl who cleans, or the guy who cleans, it was a woman, cleans the room, and she came in the next day, and then security came up and they unlocked him, and everything's gone. So he calls me up, he says, "John, boy, can you help me?" I says, yeah, I'll give you a credit card. Just go get whatever you." He says, "Well, I got no clothes." I said, "Okay, give him some clothes." And he's a big, tall drink of water. He was a lot taller than I was, but he managed to get my pants on and get my shoes on and get going. And he hit the store and he paid the bill when it came in, and we never spoke about it again. Stupid thing.
It's stupid to begin with, regardless of whether or not somebody steals something. You have no control. But we won't go into any of that. I would never
So
do that.
didn't the engineers, like the rocket scientists that Glenn's a rocket scientist, so pretty smart guys. Does he have any good stories?
If he has good stories, he hasn't shared them with me. Maybe he'd share them on camera.
Okay, maybe next time, because we'll ask him about it.
When he would travel on his own, he's got some interesting traveling stories. Like the time when the plane got hit by lightning. And then the time when the plane went from here to here, all of a sudden, and then everything went up, and then it came down. So he has some very interesting plane stories.
Seinfeld had an episode, the same thing happened to, that's what happened to George Costanza?
I don't know. I didn't watch Seinfeld.
Well, thank you for your comment. Great story, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's true, yeah, that's what he says.
Actually, wherever you go, what happens stays there. But we went to Las Vegas, and it was right after my dad retired. So I'd have to do the numbers and tell you when that was. I think that was in the 80s, late 80s. But I don't gamble, and it was so hot. But at that time, the humidity level wasn't as high as it is now. And I walked outside, they said, "You did what?" Because nobody there walks outside. They take public transportation because it's so hot. And so it was an interesting adventure, and usually their conferences were always at the time of the playoffs for basketball. So you always had the diehard Celtics fans that were watching all the playoffs for the Celtics, whoever it was that they were going against at the time. So there's different things that you have for those kinds of memories. So as far as where I've been, I mean, if we asked where you've been, that would take a long time. I have a very short list of the
But there's no
conferences.
place on the planet you want to go before you go back to heaven.
I'd like to go back to Hopewell Rocks, up in...
Hopeless Rocks?
No, Hopewell,
Hopewell Rocks.
British
What's
Columbia. It's on the Bay
in
of Fundy.
Canada. Okay.
Yes, I thought that was interesting.
On the
Let's spend
east
a little
or
more
west?
time. East. It's just north of Bar Harbor. And
Well, you got a new car, now you should go.
it's Canada. I'm going to wait and see how things go as far as the politics go. Remember, I
It's
got
a
a Massachusetts
tariff.
license plate.
It's a tariff, it's all right.
Well, I just don't want
They
my brand new
like the
car
money.
keyed or anything. Well, true. But anyway, the other place that I thought I might like to go is Newfoundland and Iceland. But I don't know if that will ever occur.
Iceland, you have to fly over the ocean.
I don't have a problem getting on an airplane. And the other thing that might be nice to do, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. The Alaskan cruise has always intrigued me to go and do
Oh,
something
one
out
of my
there.
friends, he just come back, he just had a 2-week Alaska, took the train.
Oh, to Banff?
Yeah,
Through
Hank
Banff and all that?
Golick, I think he's back now. And I'm going to see him on Tuesday. We're going to the Sweetheart Inn in Methuen for the Monday Night Dinner Club. We're going to on a Tuesday, and because the restaurant's closed on Monday. But anyway, I'm looking forward to find out how we like this cruise through Alaska.
Well, I've been to San Diego, LA, and San Francisco. We went to the Hearst Castle and did some tours.
Fascinating building, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, you could spend a whole week right there, going through things and listening to how they built that. That was very interesting. I've been to San Francisco in the past, way in the past, long before what's going on there now, where the streets were actually clean. And you could walk there if you wanted to. So I've been to those places in California, the Redwood Forest, we went.
You drive through the tree?
No, I don't remember that.
We drove through the tree.
And then we did Pacific Coast Highway 1 North on some trip. And that was Black Friday, where everybody went way back, and I think it was in the 80s, we drove that, where the stock market dropped.
You drove from here to California? Oh, okay.
No, we drove on Pacific Coast Highway 1.
So you rented a car out there,
And
gotcha.
yes, and drove north.
Understanding
And I don't
better
know if
now.
it was from LA to San Francisco, something like that. And then I've been to Washington State, I've been to Seattle, and I think it was to Seattle twice for 2 different conferences. Flew from LA to Seattle, and we did Vancouver and Vancouver Island, and did different ferries with regard to that, and train trips. But yeah, I've been to Quebec City, been to Montreal, been to different places like that. Denver was interesting. We went at Pikes Peak. When we went up Pikes Peak, we did not walk it. We took the railroad that goes up through the Aspens and different things like that. But while we're waiting for it, in the train station,
Yeah.
I'll put that in quotes, there were, because it was in the spring, summertime, there were lots of flower pots and window boxes, and it looked like they were all geraniums, but they were all red and different things. And there were thousands of hummingbirds. And you could hear, there were so many of them, you could hear them as they're going by you. Sounded just like you were in the Jetsons movie.
In the daytime, you could hear them?
Yes. Well, that's because they operate during the
No,
day.
at
They sleep
nighttime.
at night. It wasn't at
At
night.
nighttime, you can hear so much better because all the town noise is gone.
Right, but there really wasn't much town noise that was there. It was very tourist-oriented, but that was the thing I took away from Pikes Peak. And the view was unbelievable. You could actually see weather happening below you in different areas.
Oh, how high is Pikes Peak? Do you remember?
No, but it's high.
Oh, I can ask Mr. Phone.
It's high
How
enough.
high is Pikes Peak? 14,108 feet.
I didn't know exact numbers. But, and you do get a little lightheaded at that level. You get a little lightheaded in
I think
Denver,
Mount
too.
Washington's 5. How high is Mount Washington?
Glenn's walked that quite a number of times. Hiked it,
6,000.
yeah.
So twice as high as Mount Washington. Cool.
I haven't walked up Mount Washington either. I did
Oh, I would
Monadnock.
not always take the car.
Well, we're going to
I
take the
never-
Cog Railroad. That's something
The
that
Cog
Glenn,
Railroad looks exciting.
yeah, Glenn said that he would like to do that. So that's something we're going to do probably this fall. And we'll see how that goes. We had one of our grandsons last weekend. We were going to do that, but
Now,
it
how
was very
far
hot.
is the Cog Railroad from
2
your
hours.
house?
2 hours north.
No, when you're staying in New Hampshire.
Yeah, 2 hours north.
It's still 2 hours north.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
What do you like, Lake Winnipesaukee area?
yes. But we're not on Lake Winnipesaukee.
I
We're
understand,
east
but
of that.
it's 2 hours from there, wow. See, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, they have a place near Storybook Land. They have a mountainside condo,
Yeah, that's North Cornway. And that's about an hour and 15, 20 minutes from us.
and
At
they,
least.
magnificent view. And so whenever, like, we go up there once a year and enjoy the ambiance of the White Mountains.
Well, sometimes we go to, Bretton Woods, we go to the Mount Washington Hotel and have lunch. So you have to leave early enough so you can have lunch. Also, my sister-in-law's friend lives about 30 minutes away. And when I was cleaning out and everything, and so my sister-in-law tells me, if you're cleaning stuff out, she has a friend that's going to open up an antique shop. And so I brought carloads of stuff up there that my kids didn't want, and I don't want, and we'll see how that goes.
So what do we got today, Ev?
You have a pumpkin bread with a cream cheese filling.
Looks
Yeah.
yummy.
I
Thank you.
put chopped walnuts and raisins in it. It tastes really good.
Look at this. Look at this. Any baked goodies this morning? Perfect timing. Thank you.
Yeah, we got baked goodies. I did that yesterday, even though there's just the two of us, because I needed to do it to give away to different people as time goes along. But I saw this thing with cream cheese in the middle of it. And it isn't like you just put cream cheese. I mean, you've got to add an egg, you've got to add different things to it. But the recipe, it made 5 of those little small loaves that you've seen me bring in, and then a bigger loaf because of how much I did. And there's, 5 eggs in it. So overall, not that I wanted to use up eggs. So what are you looking at? Oh, seeing if it actually works. So.
No, I'm just making sure we got our,
So we didn't talk about anything political yet, but I did look up because I made a comment either last week or the week before about the big beautiful bill. And I did send links to you and Sam and Bob.
Okay.
There are summaries of it, and as I read the
Was
summaries.
it Republican written or was it Democrat
This is
written?
the new big beautiful bill that got passed by Trump.
I'm not going to read it, but
No,
that's
it's
okay.
940 pages. At some point, I will read it, so I needed the link. But it was funny because at one of the .gov things, it says, if you download this, be aware that your phone, if you have such and such, your phone may die, or whatever it was. It gave you a warning that it would overwhelm
More
the whole phone.
importantly, looked delicious. Have you ever tried to make a donut?
Yes, but I don't fry them. I bake them, and then they're just like having a piece of cake. So the cake donuts.
And then the next text from Bart says, HBG, home
Baked
baked
goods.
goodies. Look and sound fantastic. Thanks, Bart.
I can smell it. You can smell the cloves. You open that up, all of a sudden you'll have an awful
My
lot of
nose
cloves.
doesn't work as well as other people's. And it's because of my work.
It got burnt?
Yesteryear, when they used to have lead in paint,
Yes.
the formaldehyde content in the chemicals that were used, I would go into the room, preparation room, when I was legal to do so, and my eyes would immediately start to tear up. I'd start to cough. So I go home and tell my mother. And so my mother communicates to my dad. And my dad communicates to my granduncles what the issues are, and I became a baby. Oh, you're a baby. You're a baby. You can't take this. You're a baby. Get used to it. So,
You had to get used to it? They should have
Yeah.
ventilation. Formaldehyde's
so
very
now
bad.
my nose, I don't smell as good as other people do. My sense of smell doesn't work as well as yours.
So when I was working with trying to clean my husband's aunt's house, she was going to have company, okay? This is a lady that was like 93. So I used ammonia. in order to try to get the grimes up.
Good idea.
And I did not use it on the rug she had.
Bleach is good too.
Yeah, but ammonia cuts grease, and bleach
I know enough
does
to be
not.
dangerous.
Yes, but bleach doesn't cut the grease. You have to have a different solvent for that.
Well, you
And-
can't mix ammonia with something because you get poisonous gas. I
Yeah,
forget
you
what it
don't,
is.
you don't take bleach and add ammonia to it because chlorine gas is released, and that's really, could be deadly if you have enough of it. So that's not healthy. So you have to be careful that you don't mix your acids and bases. But
And
the
for
ba-
see dummies like me, I would think this would be super strong. I'll put the ammonia in with the bleach and I'll get it extra clean.
Yeah, but there's a chemical reaction, and as a
That-
reaction.
and
your
you can
chlorine-
die.
Yes. Well, you could, it depends. But I used ammonia, and I always like to use ammonia to clean, like in the kitchen, if you have grease on the vent hood. If I want to clean my cabinets, I dilute it, because it's a base, and a base is slippery, and that's what is in soap and different things that, in Dawn dishwashing detergent. But it costs you money for that, and ammonia is cheap, so I know what the
I like
bases are.
Dawn dishwashing, like.
Oh, yeah, I
great
used to clean
stuff.
my oil.
Great stuff.
When I paint, I would clean all my paintbrushes with Dawn.
Now they have this like
do that.
spray thing, and it comes out all foamy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it does a great job.
But anyway, so I'd use ammonia, but the problem was, when we were talking about your nose, I used it so much that I destroyed something, but now I smell more acutely. I can't walk, well, I don't shop that much anyway. I can't walk through an area that's got perfume and makeup and different things in the department stores, because my nose just burns. And I told Glenn, he was trying different aftershaves. I said, you can't do it. I said, I can't breathe because everything.
Comment
was
from
so
the
much.
audience, the smell of steak on the grill is the best, is one of the best.
Well, there's also, when you cut the grass, new mown hay. And then they try to
Pneumo, what?
mown hay. That crisp, I don't know how to explain it. It just smells really nice. When you cut the grass, well, you have to have green grass. Right now, it's all brown. But anyway, and then when they would hay, that means, you've got all of the different things, it's like about this high and everything. And then
Well, there's chemicals they can put in your grass so it doesn't turn brown.
there's a lot of stuff that you can do.
Amazing. My kid, he got this guy to come here and he drives all over the property with this like liquid twice a year, and the grass stays green all the time.
Right, so.
So we got to get him out to Tewksbury because the grass out there, not liking it.
Well, maybe what would be interesting is to find out whether or not the chemical that he's using is pulling the moisture out of the air, and the moisture out of the air is watering, we'll put that in quotes, the lawn, that keeps it hydrated, that keeps it from drying up. Because
Well, it's very looks great.
so that's something. But my front yard in Chelmsford just needs new dirt. It needs a little more work. And so we have the house at the lake, and I've been back and forth up there. We're going to do some construction up there. My contractor, applied for all the appropriate permits. Right now, they're working on shoring up the foundation of the house, which is interesting. I can show you some pictures, John. We don't need to put them online. But it's a new technique. Instead of digging the footings like for a deck, and you have cement, okay, because the codes have changed. It used to be that all you had to do was have a cylinder. So you can dig down, and then you can buy the cylinders, they're cardboard, from Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever, and you fill them with concrete. And then you can set whatever your 6x6s, 4x4s, whatever it is for the supports, lolly columns, the metal ones that you see in basements.
Yep.
And that, you can set that on top of this, or in it, and then you build on top of that. So there's I never can remember the name of it, and I apologize for that because I didn't think I was going to talk about it this morning. They're like helio tubes or helio something or others, and they're tubes. They're about this round. They're stainless steel, and you have a special attachment that was on their excavator. But I have an attachment I think, I don't personally have it, but there is an attachment that would go on my tractor. And it's got an auger on it, if I wanted to drill holes for fence posts. So I don't need to do that because I'm not putting in fences. But this is a hollow piece that goes on top of these tubes. On the bottom of the tubes is the auger part that goes around. Okay, so you have the pieces that come out on the bottom. And this screws it into the ground. And these, they look like they're 6 to 8 feet deep, and then they fill them with concrete. They go down as far as they can go. And they add more length to it if you need it. And it creates a much stronger base to put anything on it. And I did ask about the foundation, and they said it will hold 80,000 pounds. I thought that was pretty good. I don't know how much a house weighs. I didn't ask my phone yet, but I thought that was of interest. It's also pricey. So if anybody's doing construction, tune into this program and ask me some questions, and we can look stuff up.
Evelyn could be on this old house and show these guys a few things.
I think it's a lot of fun to know how to do things. They asked about if there was some space in the corner under the footings. And so they were going to have their engineer come out, and they were going to do all kinds of stuff. And all I'm looking at it is ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. I said, so I said to myself, I'd look it up. So I looked up what they could do, because there's a special type of foam that you can put under the house to create more stability. You just blow that in. However, you can also drill holes in the cement floor. And I'm certainly sure there's got to be some kind of tool that will tell you if there's hollow areas under the floor in your basement. And then you drill the holes, and then you put the foam inside of that. That was something that I learned. And it only took me about 5 minutes to look at
I
it.
never realized that sconce was crooked.
I didn't, well, it wasn't last week. For some reason, it wasn't like that last week.
Maybe it twists a little bit. I'll check it out.
Anyway, so I have my tractor up there.
Does your
And-
tractor all-wheel drive? Your Kubota?
Well, it depends on what gear I'm in. I either can have it all-wheel drive
Okay, you
or
have
back
all-wheel
wheels,
drive.
or back. So the all-wheel drive on the tractor is slower. If I'm going to dig, or if I'm going to take the front bucket and scoop something up, I want all-wheel drive. I have more power in the vehicle to do that, rather than if I have the one where I can
Do
actually
you
drive.
have outriggers?
20.
No outriggers?
Define that.
The arms that come down on the sides.
Oh, yeah, I got I have those support pieces that go down so that I can turn the seat around and hook it. And I can sit on that, and I have, well, it's like these things. I have these things that I
You
can.
have 2 or 4 outriggers?
Two. And it's a small tractor.
I'm just asking the question.
That's all right. So I have a backhoe. And so you put the front scoop down, you put the brake on, and then you have these down, and it offers stability so that if you're digging, you're not moving. The whole vehicle doesn't move. But sometimes it does. It depends on how you operate everything. So I have the backhoe, and I can dig stuff up. But it's limited because the size of the backhoe is only about this big. So, but I really like doing that. They put a beautiful wall in, retaining wall. But as a result of that, now I have a huge pile of rock, and I'm trying to put a rock wall down the front of the property. So now I can actually do a real
I
wall
see
because
some
I have enough
beautiful
rock.
rock walls going up around. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, they know what they're doing. It just takes me a while because I just want to get it done. So it's like playing Tetris. And it's whatever it is, because the old rock walls, all they used to do is just stack the rocks. They didn't make them look really nice and neat and clean looking. And when they took the trees down, because of lightning strikes, we've had 3 lightning strikes on that property. And they
Up at the lake?
Yes, and took the wood chips. So they dumped the wood chips, didn't have to pay for it, which is great. And then I use that, and that fills in too. So it'll be interesting to see, landscape-wise, what I can do to make it look a little better than it does currently. So I just do an awful lot of stuff, and I really like doing it. Still have to finish the backsplash in my kitchen in Chelmsford. Have all the tile work, just gotta get Glenn motivated. So we're coming up to 7 o'clock. Do you have to do anything special for 7 o'clock?
Well, what happens is, Velu, he likes us to start fresh. So when that clock goes to 8, you just restart the show. Say, well, good morning, welcome. Right now, the Dawn Patrol, the sun is going down, it's coming up on the
Right,
Dawn
because
Patrol.
you can see the timer on your screen,
So,
6:59:34, so
we
it's
have
7
24
o'clock?
seconds of the Dawn Patrol, and then City Life starts in 18 seconds. So when we get to the, you say, good morning, welcome to City Life.
I know how to
Because
do this. I've
Sandra's
been
not-
doing this for
I'm looking
like,
at one of the cameras, Sandra's not here yet, so we're good.
so anyway,
Get
We're
ready to
going
go,
to-
kid,
yep.
get ready to go.
yeah, and 7 o'clock, we welcome you to City Life. It runs from 7 to 8 o'clock. We usually end in Chelmsford like it's 7:59:29 or something like that. But we do go to 8 o'clock on Facebook. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I am your host for the next hour. As you can see, John's sitting next to me, and Sam had a prior commitment this morning, and Bob Hoey had
He's
a medical
recuperating.
emergency, and he is doing very well. John said that he had a conversation with him. How long did you talk to Bob?
About 10 minutes. And first, he called me twice. First time he called me, he said, I'll call you right back. The doctor just came in. But 5 minutes later, he called back. We chit chat for like 10 minutes. And I'm a listener. I don't ask questions. So people, well, did he say, well, would they ask this? I said, I don't ask questions. I just listen. But he sounded very good, very happy, very grateful for all the prayers and support he's got from everybody out there. Still needs prayer. He's still in ICU, so he's still in a pretty rough spot, but going in a good direction thanks to your prayers.
So the week before last, he was not on, and you said, Bob's not with us this morning. Did he have issues that Thursday, or did he just tell you he couldn't make it? Or can't you share?
I don't recall.
Because
I
then
mean,
the
if you
next,
tell me I'm not coming next Thursday, because then one there, I put on the calendar, no Evelyn, because then one, and I might ask you on the show just for entertainment value, what are you doing? But it's not, I don't retain it in memory.
okay, because on that Thursday, when I came in, you said, well, there's no Bob today, or you put it on my text, and I was
Well,
like,
it could have been a
okay.
work thing too. It could have had an early funeral that he had to work on, so.
I just didn't know whether or not he was having some kind of
Because
issues
he's
on
one
the
of the
Thursday.
part-timers at the funeral home, so. And people request him.
So do you know any details of what happened on Friday, or was it Thursday night late, Friday morning super early? Because this is like out of the clear blue, but he used to be a heavy smoker, right? Sometimes that has stuff to do with
I
it.
love smoke. As soon as I get to heaven, I'm gonna ask St. Peter's, where can I get a pack of Cools up here?
Yeah, right.
I love smoking.
I never did that. I was always afraid I'd get,
skied smoking down the mountain. I got my cigarette going, I'm just going down. I'm not a good skier, but I skied and smoked at the same time. Love smoking.
so have you had echocardiograms or anything with regard to your health?
Yeah, I had all that stuff. When I had my health incident about 2 years ago, they did all that stuff. They put me in the hospital, they flipped me over a few times, checked all that stuff, checked my toenails, all that good stuff, and they finally kicked me out. Gave me a bunch get rid of all those old pills, here's new pills. And I'm living happily ever after.
Yeah, I had.
Probably the best thing about a cell phone was that when Mr. Hoey had an issue, he was able to call. Yeah, well, what happened was, Bobby was up with the crew at St. Patrick's Cemetery. That's up Gorham Street by the old, it's across the street from Good Times. And they set up a grave. By that I mean they put the chairs down, they locate the grave, they put the flowers on the grave, they put the chairs in the grave, and so they get ready for the family to show up, so they have a place to sit. So that's the exercise they were about to do. Bobby pulls up in the car, he was driving that day, and he's standing by the car, holding out of the car, so one of his colleagues, Bubba went down there and see what's going on with Bobby, and he fainted. So Bubba, his colleague, Paul Germain, catches him, puts him in the front seat of the Buick, well, the vehicle that Bobby was driving. So he puts him in the front seat of that, and he's talking to him. At that point, my son Jack shows up again to help set up the grave. And he faints again. Bubba calls 911. And so the girl says, well, St. Patrick's Cemetery is kind of big. Where are you? He says, look, I'll just put all the blinky lights I have in the car. Just look for the car with the blinky lights, and you'll find us. So Bubba turns they're called toys, turns all the lights on that's making the car stand out. And fire department shows up. The ambulance shows up. They put him on the
Stretcher?
of the ambulance. He faints again. So off to the hospital he went. And then I was told secondhand that he had a stent put in his heart, and they weren't happy. The Low General was not happy with that. So they put him on a helicopter, and they med-flighted him to Tufts in Boston.
And that's where he still is.
Yeah, and his care improved greatly, going in a good direction. Pretty happy camper. So thanks to the whole community praying for Bobby. I'll tell you, the power of prayer is amazing.
Oh, yes, when you experience it, and sometimes it's instant and sometimes it's not, but the instant stuff is definitely
So it's
fascinating.
going to be a while before we see Bobby. So have you discovered any new restaurants out in
Yes,
Chelmsford?
so you have the smoke shop?
You can eat at the smoke shop.
Well, they call it the smoke shop. I think that's what they call it. I'll have to look it up online. But we went there. I don't eat too much barbecue, so I had their fried chicken,
Oh,
which I thought was really good. And their sides were good. Glenn had the burnt ends and ribs, which he said was really great. It's new. It's where Andiamo's was, which was Italian. So you have Boston Road, like
it's way out Boston Road?
no, in the center of town,
Because there was an Italian restaurant way out Boston Road someplace.
Rufino's,
And is that still there?
yes.
Wasn't worth the trip, to my taste buds.
Well, I just go whatever is local.
Listening to
usually.
you, sorry.
No, that's fine. So, anyway, my oldest grandson is like the busboy, does odd jobs and cleans up and delivers food and all kinds of stuff. So he's working there part-time, which is kind of interesting. But that's good. I know that when we've gone to the establishment, that has improved with their food in comparison to when they first started. That's up in North
What's
Chelsea.
better, the Princeton Station or establishment?
I probably would go to Princeton Station. I mean, they have different fish dishes.
Pretty much the same stuff. It's American food.
Prime rib.
It's American food.
I know that, but I didn't know that the establishment had prime rib. I'll have to look that up and see how that
I
goes.
think they do. On the lighter side of things, not all the time. I've been praying to win the lottery for decades.
That's different.
I wonder, who do you pray to?
I don't know. For money? I don't pray
To
for
win the
money.
lottery? Who's the lottery god? I mean,
That's not what he's there for.
I gotta ask the priest, look, we have saints for everything. There's gotta be a saint for lotteries. The lottery saint. Maybe Pope Leo would invent a new saint.
Did you send a reminder to this Sandra?
Yeah.
And she said she'd be here?
Yeah, well, she's a working mom. She's got
Okay.
a bunch of kids, and so not worry about it. She'll get here.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm not worried about it, too. It's just what we're talking about.
We're having a dandy time. Nope, she's not here yet, because
So what do you think about the market basket stuff that's going on, Demoulas?
it's a family feud. I hope that Arthur DeMoulis can hold it together. I don't want it to change. And but all Arthur DeMoulis has to say is it's time to shop across the street, and DeMoulis will be empty. But he's got to, as soon as he decides to say something, the community will react positively to whatever direction. And people say, oh, no, people, they don't care, they're going to go where it's cheaper. I don't think so.
There will always be a certain percentage that will. And then you have all of the other people that will say,
Well, we
I don't
just
think
get
so.
over there and then we just take their cars, that's all.
why do they want to get rid of them?
Just go
I mean, the
inside,
prices are
exit
good. Are they
cars,
not
and-
making enough
so-
money?
Are we gonna egg the cars? What do you wanna do after those people?
Yeah, right. But do you, what is the reason they're getting rid of him? I mean, before, I thought it was just, again, a family issue that they didn't particularly want him in charge. They wanted somebody else in charge.
Ev,
And a lot of things happen in
I serve
families, you
on
know
plenty of
that.
boards, and when you're on a board, the mindset of the board is shut up, say nothing, let's get this meeting over with. However, when you go to the Secretary of State's website and you watch the YouTubes they have on boards, you run the company. You decide who the boss is going to be. And some people don't take their board seats seriously. I take my board seats seriously, and if I'm at a meeting, you're going to know I'm there, I'm going to ask questions. And embarrassing or not, I ask my questions. And if I were on the market basket